Greetings world. We are Anonymous. The decentralized movement towards freedom is raging across the world. It cannot be stopped. The tipping point is near. Despite the lack of coverage in the mainstream media, actions are springing up on an increasing basis. A wave of transformation is rising. The zeitgeist is shifting in our direction. At this point, given all the nonviolent direct actions that are currently being planned, it makes strategic sense for us to organize them in a decentralized way, in a way that the mainstream media cannot ignore. A slightly more coordinated approach is all it will take. The awakening wave. The last time we all rallied together in loosely knit collective fashion, the Occupy movement was born, and the 99% MEME brought the corruption of our political and economic system, along with the grotesque inequality of wealth, into mass consciousness, in a profound and lasting way. It was the opening act, the awakening wave. Since the Occupy camps were crushed by brutal police state force, the movement has splintered in many different directions. This is now proving to have been a blessing in disguise. It gave us time to learn from our mistakes, figure out what worked best, and forced us back into the autonomous actions that built the movement in the first place. We have now experimented with different tactics and thought through longer-term strategies. Meanwhile, the repressive conditions that inspired Occupy in the first place have become even more oppressive. Now more than ever, governments no longer have the consent of the governed. A critical mass has lost faith and trust in our existing institutions. The present paradigm has outlived its usefulness. It has been overrun with corruption and rendered obsolete. Our political, economic and legal systems are doing much more to limit our potential and enhance it. It's time for a worldwide wave of transformation. Let's pick a 3-month span, perhaps throughout this coming spring, and unite our collective actions into an unprecedented worldwide wave that cannot be ignored by anyone. Let's crowdsource a relentless global wave of action that protests the corrupt, while also rallying around and celebrating effective alternatives and solutions to the vast problems we are confronted by. Imagine thousands of non-violent guerrilla armies swarming corrupt targets and rallying for viable solutions for a sustained 3-month cycle. If we begin preparing now, a massive spring offensive can lead to a summer of transformation. Staying true to the vital nature of the movement, you lead in your own way. Pick whatever issues concern you most and run with them, knowing that like-minded people throughout the world will also be fighting in solidarity in whatever way they can. At the same time, you are not focused enough. In an attempt to dismiss and undermine us, status quo propagandists will once again criticize us by saying that our message of systemic change is not focused enough or lacks coherent goals. This feeble attempt to keep people from joining in with us will be overcome by our widespread and consistent actions, which will lead by example and inspire the cultural shift in mass consciousness that we urgently need. Our diverse crowdsourced actions will boldly demonstrate our will to expose, fight, and overcome tyrannical systems. By rallying around viable solutions and protesting what we are against, the goals and freedoms that we aspire to will organically become self-evident to all. Throughout history, when people have fought against tyranny and oppression, they didn't have one perfect utopian model outcome agreed upon beforehand. They just knew that the invading and old systems were detrimental to their well-being and had to go. We are now in that position. Don't let the propagandists fool you. We do not need corrupt corporations or aristocratic government rulers anymore. They are obsolete. People throughout this interconnected technological world have already come up with much more effective systems to replace the tyrannical one that is currently dominating our lives. There are already many effective solutions to our problems, solutions that are held back by the entrenched forces of short-sighted greed. Once a small percentage of us withdraw our participation from corrupt entities and opt out of tyranny, the old and obsolete systems of rule will quickly fall away. Extensive empirical evidence demonstrates that non-violent movements towards freedom result in positive outcomes. Research has proven that it only takes approximately 3% of the population engaging in various forms of non-violent action to create significant meaningful change for the betterment of society. We now have the necessary critical mass of aware people who are ready, willing and capable. Guerrilla tactics. This time the police state will not be able to crush us. We will not have stationary targets. We will be everywhere, fluid and evasive. The movement will be an unstoppable crowd-sourced, decentralized and autonomous revolutionary force. We will engage in a diversity of non-violent tactics, from large-scale mobilizations to small daily acts. Most of you already know the actions and tactics that are needed. Without revealing too much strategic information, here are a few basic actions to get a fire going in your mind. Mass gatherings, demonstrations, marches, parades, flash mobs, swarms, shut down harmful corporate and governmental operations, worker strikes, hunger strikes, sit-ins, strategic defaults, debt strikes, foreclosure prevention, boycotting corrupt corporations, move your money out of the big banks and the stock market, use alternative currencies and economic systems, cancel your cable television, and support independent media, use independent online tools that don't sell your info, and protect your privacy. Online civil disobedience, anonymous operations, leak information on corruption, use alternative energy, build your own urban and hydroponic farms, or get your food from them, support local businesses, join local community organizations, take part in food banks, and help develop community support systems, start or join intentional and autonomous communities, experiment with new governing systems, liquid democracy, host teach-ins, organize socially conscious events, make conscious media, guerrilla posting, messages on money, help inspiring groups and organizations spread their message, random acts of kindness and compassion, mass meditations, prayer sessions, and spiritual actions. The list goes on and on. Do you know what you can do to play a part? Do whatever you feel inspired to do. Amplify what you are already doing. Think about what you are willing to do to be the change that we urgently need to see in the world, and then do it. Don't get bogged down in infighting and caught up in negativity. Ignore the saboteurs. Collaborate with people who inspire you. Keep moving forward with an indomitable will, a compassionate spirit, and radiate a positive attitude. Moods are contagious. Be passionate and have fun. Our ability to take part in civil disobedience is multiplied by our ability to easily record the actions on video and spread them throughout the internet. By flooding social media with these inspiring videos, we will create a positive feedback loop that translates into more action on the ground. Radical change is urgently needed, so let's make transforming the world the cool thing to do. Let's create a culture of transformation. Let's blaze a contagious non-violent wave of action through mass consciousness, signaling the end of the old world, ushering in a new paradigm. Now is the time. We are all anonymous. We are legion. We can't forgive, but we can never forget. To the corrupt holders of our resources, we gave fair warnings way too many times. Now, you will be expecting all of us.
Citizens of nations around the world, we are anonymous. This is a message from us. From the resistance. From the last line of defense. We have been watching the world's events unfold around you. And truth be told, we are highly displeased. The monstrosities carried out by governments all over the world on a daily basis has grown far too old, and we are here to bring these corrupted acts to justice. If you are tired of watching the world, our only home, be ripped to shreds for an illusion of riches, based on paper, with false value placed upon it, if you are afraid of your government, or afraid to wake up in the morning, to a war-torn city, whether you're afraid of your life being lost, because you've been tossed into pointless wars, fighting for someone you'll never meet, or who will never care about you, but the money he takes because of you, then you, my friend, are part of the resistance. We are here to ask the public to join our crusade. Inform. If you are hearing this broadcast, if you are watching this transmission, if you are reading our words and letters, then you, my friend, are anonymous. Part of an ever-growing legion that will never perish. Part of a collective that relies in unison. This message goes directly to the people that are aware of our corrupted and unwillingly society, as well as to the people that are not aware, but wishing to be, wishing for something more in life besides money and a job. Furthermore, we will never be destroyed. We, as in you, and us. We, as in everything, and everyone. We, as an idea. Ideas cannot be arrested, killed, or broken. It cannot be interfered, nor can it be stopped. Ideas, like courage, is contagious. Ideas cannot be divided. The idea is in the mind. You cannot throw it away in the trash. You cannot erase it, nor can you forget it. We are anonymous. And we are an idea to be reckoned with. We are an idea that will never halt, or stand idly by, while our governments commit vile acts against the people they claim to serve and protect so very highly. If you are tired of your government and its broken system, if you are tired of people not willing to care for our world, our rights, our society and its future generations, then join us. Join the resistance. What have you done so far in life except become like the other 7 billion people who are going through the same process? We know this is why you seek us. Both us and yourself knew the moment you clicked this video, or heard about it, that your time and moment has came. Because you, like most of the people around you, want change for the better. You want compassion. You want care. You want rights, and an open society that makes positive impact without government interruption. You want less value on human possession, and more value on human life. We know this is why you seek to become anonymous. Yet most people are worried that they won't succeed in life, worried that they won't have enough money to feed their families, worried about their future, worried that they won't have enough money to pay the rent, worried that someday they will become something low, while others expected something high from them, worried about their job and their appearance, worried about death. You want something more to life than to be born, grown up, make money, retire, and die, like the millions of people inhabiting this globe, and all of it, for nothing. That is why we are here. That is why the resistance has came. We are not saviors. We are concerned citizens, formed, built and molded upon from an idea that purifies itself with freedom and justice. We were here since the start, since the beginning of you, since the birth of everyone and everything. We are fighting for your rights. We are fighting for you, and you only. We speak as one, for we wish for no fame or profit, but sincerity and equality. Yet we are not just one single person, group, or community who call ourselves anonymous. We are not just hackers like the media says, and has corrupted you with. We are you. We are your neighbors. We are your fathers, and your mothers. We are your sons, and your daughters. We are your aunts, and we are your uncles, your sisters, and your brothers. We are the poor unemployed man, who is looking for his purpose in life, and the food to place on his family's table, as well as the lawyer, who fights for the accused under the court of law, and the teacher that teaches the children, and the man that delivers your mail, the students in your school, the workers in your company. We are the person near you, the person walking with you, the person in the car you are seeing right now. We are your lover and enemy. We are them, and they are us. This was a message from Anonymous, the final resistance. This was a call of justice. We are Anonymous. We are the resistance. We are Legion. We are an idea. We do not forgive. We do not forget. United as one. Divided by zero. Expect us.
First time in all of human history, almost all of mankind is politically awake. And these new and old major powers face still yet another novel reality, in some respects unprecedented. And it is that while the lethality of their power is greater than ever, their capacity to impose control over the politically awakened masses of the world is at a historical low. I once put it rather pungently, and I was flattered that the British Foreign Secretary repeated this, as follows. Namely, in earlier times, it was easier to control 1 million people, literally. It was easier to control 1 million people than physically to kill 1 million people. Today, it is infinitely easier to kill 1 million people than to control 1 million people. It is easier to kill than to control.
What do you have? Power. What do you think is power? Whips, guns, money? You can't turn men into slaves unless you break their spirit, kill their capacity to think and act on their own. Tie them together, teach them to conform, unite, to agree, to obey. That makes one neck ready for one leash.
They had all this on the shelf somewhere, ideas of things they would like to do. And they got 9/11 and they said, it's our chance, go for it.
The Patriot Act basically is superseding the Constitution.
The U.S. military is making plans for a major outbreak of swine flu. Troops will be used to help civilian authorities.
The military has offered to be there to provide testing for H1N1 to the public and also to distribute vaccines once they've been developed.
Transmissions will resume. I try to keep us all down and hope that we will never see the truth around. Another promise, another scene, another package like to keep us trapped in greed. A green belts wrapped around our minds, and endless red tape to keep the truth confined.
Go back to bed, America. Your government has figured out how it all transpired. Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again.
It's too late to complain. You should have complained at the beginning, when you at least had a chance.
Living in the land of freedom. Here you go, America. You are free to do as we tell you. You are free to do as we tell you.
The question is it safe? Expediency asks, the question is it politics? Vanity asks, the question is it popular? But conscience asks, the question is it right? And there comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but he must do it because conscience tells him it is right.
In a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, by all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
I want you to get back. I want you to get back. I want you to get back.
It has been said that when in the course of human events,
and oppression so revolts its subjects that it becomes necessary to alter or abolish the means of that tyranny? Is it that time when our Bill of Rights is defiled every day? When our adventures abroad threaten our security at home? When the Federal Reserve keeps our free nation enslaved by debt? And now, our nation is drifting dangerously from freedom to fascism. So I have to ask, is it time?
You've got to get mad!